Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about money, specifically the cost of living in Berlin. Those that know me know that I like to talk about making money. Wait, it's about spending money, not making money. Ugh. So before we get into the crux of this video, you guys know how it goes. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. I post a video once a week every Wednesday. And if you're not following me on Instagram, it's at WALEO Chronicles. Now let's get into the serious stuff. Now the first and biggest expense when it comes to cost of living, of course, is rent, accommodation. Now finding accommodation in Berlin is just like a story for another day, but that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about the money, right? Okay, so depending on the location and depending on the whether it's furnished or unfurnished, it determines the amount that you have to pay for accommodation. So in Germany, there's something called Wohngemeinschaft, which is shared flats or shared apartments. Usually what people do is that they rent an apartment and share it with other people. So for me, for instance, I have two other flatmates that I'm sharing my apartment with. Now, depending on the location, like I said before, and whether it's furnished or unfurnished, you can pay anything between 350 to 450 euros per month, including electricity, internet, water, and all those other expenses that are included. Everything is included. In Germany, there's usually a cost called warm or cold. Warm means everything is inclusive, and cold means it's only the rent exclusive of all the utilities. For me personally, I'm quite lucky with my where I live. I got it for below the market price, I think. I'm quite lucky. I pay 300 euros per month for my room, and it's I think 20 to 22 square meters room, but usually people pay 350 to 450 for 12 to 20, depending on how lucky you are, depending on the location, and depending on whether it's furnished or unfurnished. So because the rent prices have been going up ridiculously in recent years here in Berlin, the government here decided to introduce a Mietendeckel law kind of thing that limits how much people can charge for their space per square meter or something like that. So it was passed in January 2020, and it freezes the rent for the next 5 years. It only applies to buildings that were built before 2014. So if you're living in an old building, relatively old building, then of course this applies to you, and your landlord cannot increase your rent for the next 5 years, because some people trying to be killing us with rent in this city. Why? So thank you, Berlin government, for looking out for people like us who ain't got no money to be buying properties, okay? Now, the second biggest expense, of course, is food. The amount you spend on food depends on your lifestyle, depends on the kind of things you like to eat and stuff like that. So per month you spend anything between 200 to 300 euros, depending on your budget and depending on where you like to shop. They have different types of supermarkets here. They have the discount supermarkets, which are cheap, and the mid-range supermarkets, which have like cheap stuff and mid-range stuff, and then the high-end supermarkets where they have more expensive stuff. Now the cheap supermarkets are Aldi, Netto, Lidl. Mid-range supermarkets are Kaufland, Rewe, and then the high-end ones are Edeka and Al-Natuga. So all natural, like where you buy all your bio products and so on and so forth. So depending on the kind of groceries you like to buy will determine what your budget is per month. If you buy stuff from Aldi and Lidl, there's a limited option of what you can buy, and things are quite cheap there. And if you buy in places like Kaufland, I personally love to buy things in Kaufland because they have different variety of things, and I like to have options. Your girl loves options. Now the third biggest expense, of course, is transportation. Depending on your life situation depending on your life situation will determine how much you spend on transportation. If you're a student in Berlin, then you pay a semester fee, which is like 199 or 200 euros, I can't remember. And this transportation covers region A, B, C, is there a D? No. Region A, B, and C, and it lasts for 6 months. So that's quite a deal if you're a student. However, if you're a freelancer or you're an employee somewhere, then if you're employed somewhere, then it's different. If you have an AB ticket, you will pay 84 euros per month. If you have a BC ticket, you will pay 86 euros per month. And if you have A, B, and C tickets, then you pay like 104 euros per month. Again, the public transportation system in Berlin is really good with really good connections to different parts of the city, so you really will not need a car. However, if you want to have a car, sorry, I cannot tell you anything about cost of having a car because I ain't got a car, so I don't know how much it costs, but there's a lot of attached costs to it, like insurance. Just don't buy a car. Wale said so. Don't buy a car, okay? Another expense that will come up for you is health insurance. Another expense that will come up for you is health insurance. Health insurance in Germany is compulsory, so you can either choose to have private health insurance or public health insurance. If you choose public health insurance, it also depends on your salary. So if you're employed, health insurance will be 14.6% of your salary or something like that. But if you're a student, then your health insurance, if you're on public health insurance, will be, I think, 110 euros per month. If you're on private health insurance, different private health insurance companies offer different premiums for students, so you have to check that yourself. But generally, almost every person takes the statutory public health insurance because it's compulsory for you. And if you're a student, it's 110 euros per month. If you're a working person, then it's 14.6% of your salary. Another cost, of course, is the cost of socializing. One of the things I love about Berlin is there's always an option for every pocket price, every range. So, but generally, if you like to eat out quite regularly and you want to go to cheap restaurants, there are options for you. So in a restaurant, for cheap restaurants, you can get anything between 8 to 10 euros. If you want to eat out in a mid-range restaurant, then you'll be spending anything from 15 to 25 euros. And if you want to eat in nice, like, not high end, but like, it's not like Michelin star or anything, but like fancy restaurant, then you'll be spending like 40 to 50 euros and such. But you can get, my budget is more within the like 8 to 10 to 15 euros, so I like to eat out quite a bit. So yeah, that's how much you'll be spending per meal. And also, you can, if you like to go to bars and clubs and stuff like that, of course the alcohol is cheaper in bars than it is in clubs. And there is a popular culture in Berlin called going to the Späti. So you go to this Späti and you buy drinks for cheap, like beer I think costs like €1, 1.50 or 2. Don't quote me, I don't drink beer, I don't like the taste, sorry. And I'm not a huge alcohol drinker, so I cannot really talk about so much about how much alcohol costs. But of course, if you're into drinking alcohol when you go out to eat, of course your cost goes up. I'm just talking about eating out alone. Another cost you should be aware of course, is the cost of your mobile phone network provider. So they have 3 major ones in Germany, which is Telecom, O2 and Vodafone. O2 being the most expensive, but you can get different plans or network plans for your phone. I pay 10 euros per month. I think you can get between 10 to 15 euros per month depending on what data plan you opt for. I personally pay 10 euros per month, and that suffices for me because I get Wi-Fi at home, everywhere else, so I don't really need huge data. Also, another cost you should be aware of is this TV and radio license fees in Germany. It's everywhere in Germany. So this fee, every household is supposed to pay these fees. Every flat, everybody has to pay 17 euros and 50 cents, I think. And it's compulsory. It doesn't matter whether you watch the TV or you don't watch the TV, or you listen to the radio or you don't listen to the radio. You have to pay this money. I mean, for me, I was annoyed in the beginning, but actually I watch a lot of ARD and CDF, so I should pay this money, yes, because it's helping my German. So generally, your cost of living, again, in Berlin depends on your lifestyle. You can live really, really cheap, and you can live really, really expensive, relatively expensive. Depends on the kind of life you live. You can live for, per month, 800 euros per month or 2,000 euros. So like the range is wide, it's just up to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers.